Senator Tester of Montana.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for the courtesy, and I want to thank you and the ranking member for holding this very important hearing. And I appreciate the folks who gave their testimony. I want to start with you, Dr. Bustamante. I believe in capitalism. I think you got to have competition in the marketplace, keeps everybody honest. I think what we've seen in many, many different sectors of our economy is way too much consolidation. I want to bring agriculture up as one. You know the statistics. 3/4 of the global grain market is controlled by 4 traders. 82% of the U.S. beef market is controlled by 4 packers. I'm going to tell you, and I'm a farmer in my real life, that concentration prevents folks that are in production agriculture, family farmers, from being able to survive. And by the statistics, by the way, the statistics on the other end point that out. 85% of farm income is going to 7% of the farms. 93% of the farms in Montana, for example, share just 15% of the farm income. That's a system that, quite frankly, needs some attention. We're talking about consumers getting taken advantage of. We talk about producers of the food, in this case, getting taken advantage of. Can you tell me if, and excuse me if I'm stepping out, but can you tell me if things like the Packers and Stockyards Act that was passed over 100 years ago because the industry of meatpacking was so consolidated and today is even more consolidated than it was 100 years ago, is something that we should really focus on, or is it a different issue than just making sure that people are following the antitrust laws that are out there?
Consolidation has been a huge issue driving markups and higher market concentration in so many industries, as you mentioned, when we think of meat and meat processing, the fact that cattle ranchers used to get about 67% of every dollar that consumers were paying was actually going to them. Now it's closer to 33%. And this is a huge red flag that meat packers are basically driving consumer prices, but actually not passing on those gains to cattle ranchers or to workers to begin with. Yeah. And so it's really being able to push back against consolidation, being able to push back against these large corporations that ultimately have so much market share that they're able to squeeze suppliers, consumers, and workers at the same time.
Well, thank you for that, because you're spot on. And I will tell you, food security is really, really important in this country. And because you're just not enforcing the laws that have been on the books for 100 years, we're forcing more consolidation at the ground level. And I've said this, and I mean this: if we lose family farm agriculture in this country becomes far, far, far less secure. And so I think Congress needs to pay attention to that. And in that vein, I would tell you that Chairwoman Stabenow put out her farm bill yesterday, and in that she included a bill that I've been pushing for and that I've sponsored, Meat and Poultry Special Investigator Act. This is for you, Mr. Badoon. You mentioned the negative impacts of consolidation, of reduced competition, however you want to put it in your testimony. Could you flesh out a little more what increased competition and accountability, how that could help farmers, ranchers, consumers, and what Congress needs to do from your perspective to try to make this happen?
Absolutely, Senator. Thanks for the question. In competitive markets, we know that prices come down, in part because firms have to compete against one another to win over consumer loyalty. And the consolidation we've seen over the last 20 years especially has created such a situation where pricing has been divorced from competition. And so whereas once pricing was a fairly straightforward process that took into account factors such as the cost of materials, labor, the lack of competition, and also the advent of algorithms in which all sorts of industries, including beef processing, for example, use algorithms, all share the same algorithm, and that effectively allows these companies to collude in higher prices. Now, those higher prices are at the all across the supply chain, and ultimately consumers feel that at the checkout line.
Well, I just appreciate this hearing because I firmly believe if you're worried about how many ounces are in a potato chip bag or a Fritos or a Oreo cookie bag, competition can fix that problem, but Congress has to do their job. Thank you guys very much.